Sandra Smith, co-anchor of America Reports with John Roberts.
Thanks for having me.
You were fabulous last night.
Thank you.
In fact, your issues analysis, which really came before the clear voting patterns, suggested to me that Trump was going to have a good night because these were Trump's issues. And I want to walk through some of them. Get your content. The first one, I guess, is the most important issues. Interestingly, immigration outpolled economy and jobs. What do you make of that?
Can you really separate them? You know, and I think a lot of people looking at that analysis say that a lot of American voters, in this case, Republican voters in Iowa, they see immigration becoming a bigger and bigger economic issue in this country.
Right.
And those who saw that as the top concern facing the country today, they supported Donald Trump overwhelmingly. So people see this as a lawlessness issue that continues to grow in this country. They're concerned about that. But, you know, I was talking to Charles at 1 o'clock today, Charles Payne, and he said, we're getting to the point where we have to acknowledge that the growing number of migrants coming over the border, the flooding of these American cities, it is overwhelming resources and becoming a bigger and bigger economic issue.
Probably depressing real wages. You've got a lot of cheap labor coming into the country illegally. And I think a lot of Americans resent that. That's what I think.
That's going to be one of those data points. I think we have to see how that plays out over time. It's not an immediate response. But overwhelmingly, there were voters on the ground in Iowa saying that they want to see change. You just acknowledged that question we asked. How much change would you like to see in how the country is run? This is a question clearly shows that voters who want change want Donald Trump back in office. So those who wanted substantial change, 56%. Those who wanted complete and total upheaval, 33% of voters that we talked to leading up to the caucuses. 70% of those that want complete and total upheaval, 70% supported Donald Trump. DeSantis was all the way down at 15%. So these are people who don't like the way things are going, whether it's the economy, whether it's immigration, whether it's crime. They don't like our involvement in overseas dealings, and they want to put Donald Trump back in office.
Social policies.
I mean, I look around, look at the youth vote.
Harvard, Claudine Gay. No, I'm not. I'm just being serious. I think people are just fed up, and they know America's in the wrong direction. And by the way, that's what the polls show with respect to Biden. He's going in the wrong direction consistently and getting worse.
But look at the question about your family's finances. And this is going to be a theme we're going to watch throughout the primary season. Do you feel like you're better off today than you were a few years ago? Do you feel like you're getting ahead, right? 11% said yes. Some might even say that sounds high right now. Those tended to favor Nikki Haley in our Fox News voter analysis. But those that feel like they're holding steady or falling behind, whoa. I mean, 89% of respondents, Larry. So if you feel like you're falling behind, you're looking for change, you don't like the way things are going, you're looking for change in the White House, and you're looking for drastic change.
This, I see a debate, a Trump-Biden debate. Trump asks, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? That's what this is telling me. And the answer is going to be no.
We should always be asking that question. And voters ask that question when they head to the ballot box. Also, the question over the rural voter. We were watching this with the weather. Do you remember walking in on my set and teasing us about our coverage of the weather?
An hour ago. Oh, no, that was a couple days ago.
Oh, that was the cold temperature we keep
that was the Iowa.
But leading up to this, obviously, weather was, and rightly so, a huge concern for voter turnout. Well, was it the rural voter that's sort of used to battling the temperatures and they were going to just go out anyway, and there was the urban city dwellers that weren't going to go out? Well, this is the small town rural voters, 62% of them, 58% through their support to Donald Trump. They came out. They came out. Martha McCallum kept saying that in her coverage all day. She's like, I don't know. The streets are busy. The cars are out. People are going places.
It was the well-educated urban wusses that stayed home under their electric blankets. The hardy folks out there in the rural areas.
Look, the
evangelicals, they came.
He won the college-educated voter, too.
He did.
All right? So when it comes to what describes the level of education.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so no college degree, 63% of respondents. Those with a college degree, 37%. I'm showing you my raw data here.
Whoa.
When you break it down, Donald Trump won that group with 32% supported him. These are his strengths. Okay, obviously he does very well. We know with the
But with a college degree,
he edged out Nikki Haley by 2 points.
yeah. You know, that was the New York Times story, New York Times of all places, that said college-educated voters are learning to like Trump again. No, that was a big story. And can I ask you, in that sense, young voters?
Yes.
Young voters. Now, polls are showing that under 30 are starting to come around to Donald Trump. Did you pick any of that up last night?
The under 30 crowd, 52% of them supported Donald Trump.
Wow.
Next up was Vivek Ramaswamy, by the way.
Yeah.
But a distant second
Who just
at
endorsed
17%.
That is awesome. That is so.
I love this real-time
You can't have
reaction.
You can't. No, but it's interesting. So you're talking about sweeping all demographics. That's what this was, a total sweep. You can't knock it down to say, well, it was just this and it was just that. It was across the board.
And even dive deeper into the demo. So that was the under 30 crowd. Over half supported Donald Trump. But let me give you even more specific. The 30 to 44-year-olds, which was 20% of the respondents, Donald Trump still won with that crowd, 46%. Okay, Ron DeSantis was a distant second at 23%.
No.
I mean, I know these are a lot of numbers, but I mean, he just ran
These are important numbers. And
the table.
As I've said, I have said this for months and months and months. He's running an issues campaign. It's not a grievances campaign. It's an issues campaign. And it's clicking. In Iowa, we saw what I think will be the first of many installments. This is just my personal view. These issues are resonating. Now, if you're talking about the Republican primaries, these issues are going to be unbelievable for Trump. And they are his signature issues. This is not new for him. The others have never emphasized it as much. They don't communicate it as well as he does. And they haven't been around as long. I mean, he's the guy. He's been doing this since 2015, from day one.
Go out there and buy your gas electric vehicles. It was his speech last night, Donald Trump. Go buy your tractors.
I know. I know.
But
I thought he was going to hand out ethanol right there at the Iowa thing.
I think that was his open, right?
That was a joke.
Just real quickly, foreign policy. We were watching this because this would be Nikki Haley's strength, right? Which one of the following would you say is the most important issue facing the country? Foreign policy was way down the list. We just mentioned it was 7%, but third on the list to immigration and the economy. Donald Trump won with foreign policy as well.
Yep.
He edged out Nikki Haley by 2 points in that category.
And people wouldn't mind seeing the United States have a more restrained view of foreign policy. That showed up in your issues also.
Yes, our involvement in our role in the world.
Yes.
He won that as well.
One last one. I just can't help myself. U.S.-Mexico border wall. Favor 88%, oppose 12%. I dare say that's a Trump issue.
I mean, and this takes him back to his playbook of 2016, right?
Signature issues. People remember he gave it his best shot the first time around. He had a lot of victories. He had some defeats. He's coming on strong.
This was fun. Thanks for having
hell of
me.
a night.
By the way, I should mention I'm just the face of it. There's a huge team behind gathering all this data. It's phone calls.
I'm glad I give them all
surveys.
credit, but you were a total star last night.
Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you, people love issues. It's not just the horse race. They love the issues because the issues are what going to determine these races.
They want to learn something, and they want you to just provide them the data so that they can decide for themselves. And they can sort of, imagine what's going to happen next. Because now we look forward to New Hampshire, and, these numbers could look a lot different.
Wait.
We don't know.
I can't
We'll
wait.
watch.
Sandra Smith. Remember, you can catch Sandra along with her co-anchor John Roberts on America Reports weekdays every day, 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox News. Every now and then I even show up there. Thank you, Sandra. You're the best.
Thank you, Larry.
Best.